I'm gay. That felt liberating to say. Never talked about on camera before.
She's gay.
Oh my God, that's anti-gay. Where do I start? Okay, so I came out to my family in 2019. I knew that I had the capacity to have feelings for women like way before that. This is probably the first time I have ever told this story, but like, who cares? So when I was like 15 or 16, I kissed a girl at a party, and she was a junior or senior, I don't know. Oh, the memories are fuzzy. But we were at a pool party, and we were at an older friend's house. We were obviously drinking. Sorry, Mom, but you probably already knew that because moms aren't stupid. But we were definitely drinking, and it just happened. And I didn't like it, per se, because I think that I didn't have feelings for this girl. But I also didn't not like it, which came as a surprise to me, because pretty much the second it happened, I was preparing myself for like feelings of like guilt or disgust, and neither came. So I was like, oh, something to log away and think about. Unfortunately, I was not able to process this in any sort of healthy way right away, because a couple of people saw me. And as high schoolers do, they certainly let that story run through the rumor mill, and it was quite annoying. That was also during a time where I was not very nice to people, because I was internalizing that in its very beginnings. That circulating about me was really stressful, because it was not something I was ready to address in any way, and I didn't have the tools to do it at that time either. My parents are by no means homophobic. I certainly have family members and friends, and they've had friends their whole lives who are gay, so that was not ever the issue. I think it was, we're totally cool with this thing that happens in society, but it's not happening in our family. As I went to college, I, met people who I had connections with, both boys and girls, and I tried to explore that as best that I could, while also trying to like keep this anonymity just a little, because I still was not prepared about what that would look like. It was a little difficult to navigate my culture and my gender expression and my sexual orientation all at the same time, because these are not things that I had ever thought about before in an interconnected way. I truly never viewed my culture as part of my identity, as part of my sexual preference, as part of my XYZ. I never saw them come together like that, because I just didn't ask myself those questions when I was younger, and I'm not sure if it's because I wasn't curious or because I didn't know to be curious or know that I could even wonder about these things. I didn't know if that meant I had to change the way I dressed or change the way I talked or the way that I acted if I decided to embrace this part of myself that I wasn't even sure about yet. It all boils down to not having a lot of representation. So it wasn't until college, when I made connections with many people, and when I saw young women who looked like me expressing themselves in a way that they wanted to, in a way that was exciting and fun and exploratory for them, was super empowering. This is just a huge culmination of my not knowing what to look out for, my not knowing what questions to ask myself, and really not knowing who to go to with these questions if I couldn't find an answer within myself. So college happened, and then after college, I was in a committed relationship with a man, and we were together for 5 years. He was one of my great friends from school. We had a great human connection, and I was very content with what my life was going to be like, and I think that our friendship really is what kept me there for so long. And then, I was starting to experience some depressive symptoms, and that was affecting the way that I was viewing my work and my social circles and my relationship. It's impossible not to evaluate your whole life when you're stuck under a dark cloud. So while I was experiencing all of that, I realized that if this is as happy as I could be, I didn't know that measured up to the way people talked about love or the way people talked about happiness or fulfillment. And it was through no fault of my partner or my employer or my friends at the time. I mean, it was really just a me thing, not understanding what level I needed to rise to be able to give myself a more fulfilling life and pursue more fulfilling relationships. So I turned my whole life topsy-turvy and I changed everything about my life all at once. And while I do not recommend that in any way, shape, or form, it was very stressful. It was a very cool moment to reevaluate who I am, what that looks like in the clothes that I wear, how I like to do my hair, who I want to go on dates with, how I describe those dates to people. I mean, it all just like suddenly became very much within my control. And it was really just like a huge shift. And that was the year, 2019, that I decided to come out. I would be lying if I said that I just woke up one day and decided I wanted to come out to my entire family, because I 100% did not. Spoiler alert, my coming out was like 99% totally fine and successful. So I'm happy for the way it came out. Certainly my therapist and I spent a long time kind of working on the way that I was going to do it. But really the impetus for me like deciding to step into a more honest expression of life was meeting my girlfriend, Lexi. I met her in 2019. After a few short weeks of dating her, it felt almost disrespectful to continue this relationship with her while not being honest with the people who I say love and support me the most and who I say that I love and support the most. And I didn't want to disrespect my relationship with my family by not cluing them into this massive part of who I am. So it was less of like me clawing to get out to live this honest life, because I mostly did. But the missing piece was that I wasn't cluing in all of these people that helped make me who I am and helped get me to a point where I could embrace this part of myself and this version of myself. And it didn't feel right to be telling stories about how much fun Lexi and I are having and not using her name or not using her pronouns. That felt disrespectful to our budding relationship. So in thinking about how coming out has like affected my current self-image and my life and my success, even how I define my success, is hard to pinpoint, because that felt like one of the missing links where like it all clicked in. So as I do, take a little walk throughout my life, I see my lovely girlfriend of almost 2 years and our 2 incredible dogs and my friends who are celebrating professional successes and babies and new projects and marriages and all these exciting things. And these are all people who I have been able to connect with deeper and more truthfully by being myself, and taking steps to really figuring out what that even means. There is certainly no ending to that. I will continue to reevaluate and see how I can be more authentic. And that most recently has come in a job change and in a decision to re-enter a creative space. That is just as much me working in my truth as it is a gift to myself, because I feel like I've earned it. And so I do want to insert a little disclaimer here, which is that if you are in a relationship and you haven't come out yet, that's okay. My story is mine only. I have a very safe and supportive community around me that I know is a privilege. So this is by no means a how-to on how to come out or to change your entire life over a partner or anything like that. I certainly was at the right time in the right place to receive somebody like Lexi, and I was at the right time in the right place with my family and with the people who love me to be able to merge those 2 worlds. So if you're not in a space like that, that is okay. Your safety is 100% the priority. So even more than how much you love or like or are curious about your current partner, or how much you want to show your real self to all the people in your life in all the spaces that you can, I always empower you to do it safely. And if you're not sure how to do that, plenty of resources available. I'll put a few of my favorite resources in the description box. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, or you want to share your coming out story, send me a private message and I'm happy to chat with you. So if you want to keep getting highly mindful, which I will assume you do, then the only possible next step is to like and share and subscribe and comment and do all of the things, because I want this community to grow and I want to engage with you. I hated that.
I think we got it.
Really?
It
was
pretty
fine?
good.
Okay, fine.
I mean,
That I hated
I
part.
think if we go out on I hated that, it's going to get a big laugh.
It might.
And now we're just going to put that laugh into it. We're done.
We're done.
Yeah.
End scene.